Hello and welcome to another edition of St. Louis Presents. I am Rob Desir and this is Aprille Trupiano, and we have another exciting show for you today. Aprille, how you doing? You excited?
I'm excited.
I'm
always excited.
Really?
Yeah.
You're not faking it?
Just to share the stage with you, Rob.
Oh, a lot of people like to say that. But anyway, no, we got a great show. The Olympics are here. The heat is always here. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about being safe in the heat. We're going to talk about modern technology. Of course, you know, we live in a world of cell phones and emails and Gmails and all kind of mail. So we're going to talk about the internet. We also have an exciting book to talk about. So Aprille, tell us, who are some of the guests that are going to join us today?
You stole my thunder.
I did?
You did. You
No,
just
I
told me
didn't.
everything.
I didn't steal your thunder, but go ahead and tell us.
All right, I'll tell you who's coming because we're actually excited about that. We have Jim Erwin, who's an author from St. Louis. See, he just told you we got the book. It's the end of our summer series, reading series. And we also have Becky Shaney from Mr. Sparky. She's going to talk to us today about some important tips. We also have Craig Virgin, a former Olympian. And we also have Heather Dawn Mitchell from The Fountain joining us today.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we also have Keith Turner from Turn Group Technologies.
Right, and I'm just excited that Heather's here because she has these martini glasses and a lot of liquid libations to make us happy this hour. Tell us what you're going to make for us, Heather.
All right. Well, at the Fountain and Locust, we're known as the home of the ice cream martini. And our little humble abode is furnished with all kinds of goodies. But today, our martini reputation will precede us. So we're going to make some ice cream martinis. We figured a nice way to beat the heat was with a cold cocktail.
Oh, wow.
Rob's favorite.
Sounds exciting to me.
And she brought the homemade whipped cream.
Absolutely.
Which is something that
can't leave
Aprille
the
is
house
super
without it.
excited about, the homemade whipped cream. So yes, exciting hour here on St. Louis Presents. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. St. Louis Presents starts right now.
Welcome back to St. Louis Presents. And today, we have a jam-packed show. We got lots of guests.
Yeah, we have a lot of guests. So we got a whole lot of time and not a lot of time to do it, I guess, right?
You know, but when we start off today, we do want to just take a minute to say that we're really saddened by the news of the senseless violence that took the lives of 12 people in Colorado and injured dozens more. Just want to let you guys know that we're praying for the families and loved ones of the victims during this time of really just shock and grief.
Yeah, it's just a massacre and a tragedy is what, you know, you can call it what happened in Aurora, Colorado. Those folks who went to go see the Batman premiere. You actually had the story. You were telling us back in the green room. You knew somebody who almost went to that movie theater?
No, was there.
Was there?
Got an email yesterday from someone who was at the theater and made it out safely. And it was just, it was an amazing account of not only what happened, but his reaction to it, and even the survivor's guilt, you know, the reactions that he's going through day by day, just realizing how lucky he's been. So it was really touching, actually, but it, you know, it's always disturbing.
Yeah, it's just, you don't know what people think about it, what makes somebody want to do something that crazy, but obviously this is just a sad case. But yeah, so thoughts and prayers go out to the families in Colorado. Just trying to move on now on a lighter note as best as we can. Obviously, we know football season is just around the corner. Training camp is now here, and the Rams rookies are underway trying to beat the heat. And actually, some of what the Rams rookies do here before they actually start training camp, they try to get to know the city. So what they did was some of the folks for the Rams, they took the rookies around the city to introduce them to the highlights, their new home, you know, to show them the landmarks and take a look at what they'll be surrounded with now that they will call St. Louis their new home. And so take a look at this.
The the Rams began Rookie Week as a way to introduce the team's new players to the St. Louis community. Recently, we've caught up with the guys at Blueberry Hill.
Since being drafted by the Rams, what have you learned most about St. Louis?
The fact that everybody drives the speed limit, which is good. The chill aspect, just the laid-back aspect of the whole city. You know, everybody's not trying to, get anywhere fast. Everybody's just laid back.
There was great fun had by all as the St. Louis community welcomed the Rams' new rookies.
Looks like they had some fun over at Blueberry Hill.
Yeah, well, I mean, who doesn't have fun at Blueberry Hill?
That's true.
Do you play darts?
I do play darts. I'm not good at darts, but I play darts. It's just better to have the Velcro ones in case I miss.
Because you will cause damage?
I do once in a while.
Yeah?
Yes, yeah. You should never stand close to the target unless they're felt darts.
Well, you should stand close to the target if you want to get more points. 'Cause
No, I
that
meant
way
you if you're watching.
Okay. If you're shooting.
I will
okay.
tell you the truth. I actually stuck my cousin in the bottom one time
Oh,
when we
wow.
were kids.
That's not good.
He ended up, he was screaming.
Did you have to go to the hospital or anything?
No, we just put peroxide and a Band-Aid on it. That was, years ago. We didn't rush to the hospital
Stay
for
away
everything.
from April when it comes to darts. Okay, moving on. Over at the airport, there's a new display over at Lambert, the Homestead Act, and so you can go ahead and see that. Basically, what it is it's basically something that
from when Abraham Lincoln
signed the Homestead Act, which
in
turned over
1862.
270 million acres.
Yeah.
I guess it's which equates to about 10%
Right.
of the United States private citizens. And the document, it shows economic, political, and social transformation of the West, which had profound changes
Yes.
to the land, the American Indians, immigration and migration patterns. So industry and agriculture. It goes through, I believe, August.
Yes.
So make sure you go if you happen to be at Lambert, whether you're landing,
Something to do while you're
at the
hanging
airport,
out, waiting for your flight.
definitely go ahead and check that out.
Yeah. We also have the Olympics going
Yes,
on
we talked
through
about
August
yep.
12th.
The Olympics are officially underway,
Yes.
although not official because they haven't had the unofficially, but officially
Yes.
underway. They have some events that are already taking place. But we're excited about that next couple of weeks. It's all about all the events you can watch, and there's like 5,000 hours of programming, so you don't have an excuse not to watch the Olympics. So it's always an exciting time. It only comes once every 4 years, or once every 2 years now, because they split up the winter and the summer. But the Summer Olympics only come once every 4 years. But I wanted to ask you, April, first off, what's your favorite Olympic event?
I knew you were going to ask me that. I would have to say the slalom thing? Slalom?
That's winter, though. What's your favorite summer event?
Well, you didn't specify summer
Okay,
or
your
winter.
favorite
so
summer.
My favorite summer? I don't know. What's your favorite summer?
No, how are you going to answer a question with a question?
Because that's what women do. When we feel like it.
No. Okay, you have to answer this question. What's your favorite
I
event?
don't have a favorite, seriously.
Okay, well, what if you could do any event, what event would it be?
I don't have a favorite.
You know what? I just had this feeling that, if April could be in any, event in the Olympics,
Here it comes.
I think she would make a great boxer. I really do. I just had this feeling because I can just picture you like almost in my mind. There it is. Look,
Are you?
that's April right there. Look at you. Look at you.
But
in pink gloves and everything.
I would never use pink gloves.
Why not?
But I would never. You saw my gloves, they're blue.
But it doesn't matter. You could knock somebody out with pink gloves.
I could not.
You could knock somebody out with just your hands. You don't need gloves to knock somebody
pink
out.
gloves, blue gloves,
You'll
black
make
gloves.
them black and blue.
No, but I mean, I do love it. But when you're asking me my favorite, it's
Track and field?
I kind of like to dabble in all of them. I don't have a favorite in the summer, but I do enjoy it. What's your favorite? Come on, what's your favorite?
Goodness, I mean, I'm a big soccer guy. I like soccer, but
Soccer.
yeah.
I heard you like
Gymnastics.
Gymnastics.
Now
yeah.
if I
You
was
like the
competing in
gymnastics.
gymnastics, I can
Oh,
see myself.
that's what I
I can
heard.
see myself like.
I heard
doing
you.
the-
See, there you
doing
go.
rings.
Doing rings.
I
There
can see
you
myself.
are.
And you see, I have the whole outfit and everything.
You do.
My
Got some
arms-
muscles
my
going
arms
on
are
there too.
ripped.
Ripped.
Man, I stay in the
Lean.
gym. I
Lean.
stay in the
You are
gym.
looking lean
That's
in that
awesome.
photo.
That's really awesome. Well,
You could do like Cirque du Soleil.
I could.
Yeah.
I really
that
could.
kind of arm strength.
I really could.
You're
I just
the
can't do backflips or anything.
Oh wow.
I'm
We'll
not-
have to work on that.
I'm not into anything with flipping or anything like that. Can't do it at all. Can't do it at all. But again, so really excited about the Olympics, and we've got we have Craig Virgin here who's
Yes.
going to talk about the Olympics coming up next in a little while. So we're really excited to talk about that. So yeah, so stay with us right here on St. Louis Presents. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. Olympics, go USA, or whatever country you might be rooting for. You got plenty of opportunities to watch whatever event you want to see. So St. Louis Presents comes right back after the break.
When you throw away money on wasted electricity, you're throwing away everything you could have bought with it. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at energysavers.gov.
Clean kitchen surfaces, utensils, and hands with soapy water. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Hey St. Louis, I'm Cara Kay. Keep it right here on STL TV.
Shelters are the best places to find a new pet. You'll discover healthy and loving animals just waiting to become a part of your family. Find out more at theshelterpetproject.org.
There's a monster in my bathtub. There's one on the couch. There's a monster on my bed.
Keep innocent things from triggering an asthma attack.
Please make the monsters go away.
Learn how to stop their asthma attacks at noattacks.org.
And welcome back to St. Louis Presents. As we said, we were talking about the Olympics when we last left, and we have a former Olympian, a 3-time Olympian, and a 2-time world champion, Craig Virgin, here joining us. Craig, thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Rob.
I see you are in the Olympic spirit, wearing the
Now, this
polo shirt and all.
I don't know if they can get a close-up, but this is the logo that will be on most of the U.S. Olympic Committee uniforms this year. This is the new Olympic logo just for 2012.
Nice.
And I stole one of their shirts about 2 months ago. I told them I was going to be on this program. They said, here, take this with you.
All right. So stole it with permission.
That's right.
All right. Gently.
So obviously, this is you know what these athletes are going through, having been through this. Do you get more excited around this time of year than any other time of the year?
Absolutely, because for about 30 days, us Olympians are at the top of the food chain in sports. After that, you know, here's how they've changed it. It used to be only every 4 years, and you'd have a winter and a summer Olympics the same year. Well, then the International Olympic Committee got smart and they said, why should we have a big 4-year gap? I mean, the Super Bowl is every year, the World Series is every year, the Stanley Cup is every year. So they decided to make a compromise, and so now every 2 years we have either the Winter Olympics or the Summer Olympics. So for about 30 days, every 2 years, Olympians kind of come to the front of the news. After that, we're kind of below baseball, basketball, football, and hockey in America. But this is an exciting time. The opening ceremonies are tomorrow. And I want to say this right now, that I was in 2 Olympic teams, or on 2 Olympic, actually qualified for 3, and I competed in Montreal in '76, in Los Angeles in '84. And I was actually at my prime, my peak in 1980, and we had a little thing called the Olympic boycott that year. And I don't know if you or our audience remembers why we boycotted the Moscow Olympics, but it's very ironic because Moscow, or I should say the Soviet Union, had invaded Afghanistan to put down an insurgency. Now, is that crazy or what? Because 30-some years later, we're stuck in Afghanistan putting down an insurgency.
That's a whole nother show. We'll bring you back for that one.
But it's one of those painful things, because that 1980 team is sort of the lost Olympians.
Right.
We made the team. Many of us ran some of the best performances of our lives and in the whole world, and we couldn't go. And I'm really glad that, of course, the Africans boycotted in '76. America and her allies boycotted in '80, and in '84, the Soviet Union and her allies boycotted. But pretty much since then, it's been inclusive. And that's the way the Olympics should be. My favorite part of the Olympics...
That's what I was going to ask. What's your favorite part? Because you know the whole process.
Opening ceremonies. Hands down. Opening ceremonies for one big reason. Everybody is so happy. There's so much festivity. They've been in the Olympic Village about a week. Everybody's partying and dining and eating and exchanging stories. But the most important thing, everybody's dream of having a best ever performance in the Olympic Games and winning a medal is still alive. Yeah. Nobody's been beaten yet. Yeah. It's sort of like, we talked before the show, sort of like opening day in baseball. Sure. Nobody's lost a game.
Right.
Everybody's dream is intact, and so, boy, everybody think, oh, maybe I can come up with the best performance of my life and win a gold. With each day that goes by, and a few more athletes are disappointed, and of course, only maybe 5% win medals. The rest of them have to go home empty-handed. Now, finally, the other part is the closing ceremonies, and for me, that's kind of a downer, because it's the end of the party. It's like somebody just turned on the lights and said it's closing time. You all have to go home.
You got to go home.
I know, but in between is about 14 days of magic, and it's the biggest athletic event in the world, bar none. It's like having the World Series, the Kentucky Derby, the Super Bowl, and a whole bunch of sports all wrapped up into 2 weeks in one place. It is amazing.
Now, what are some of the things that you do when it's getting close? Because you're still really active in this whole party.
I had hoped to be on the NBC team over there. And I went down, it went all the way until last February. Then I found out that they had signed somebody that had not been in the booth for about 8 years, and they brought him back, and I knew I lost my spot that I was in line for. So I'm trying to just do some local commentary and some analysis of the Olympic Games in the St. Louis market, either in radio or TV. Well, that's still, those negotiations are still ongoing, so I need you as an agent.
All right.
That's good. Now, I know it's pride for your country, but what about just when you're that hometown product, the folks that root you on from wherever you're from, and you being a local product, the pride that goes into that, when you put in 4 years of all that hard work, and when you come back home, how you're appreciated.
Well, let me say this about that. In the old days, everybody in the Olympics were so-called amateurs, and there was real strict codes and rules. And now you can actually make money. They have bonus money at the Olympic Games, either from the IOC or sometimes from your national governing body. And they have other monies that go to help develop. But even before the money, the biggest thing about being on the Olympic team was representing your country in the Olympic Games or World Championships. There's no greater honor than putting that USA jersey on and walking out in front of a stadium. In my case, in track and field, 80,000 people in the stadium, full to the top, okay? And, worldwide TV, to represent your family, your school, your state, and finally your country, there is no greater honor. And, and really, I gotta tell you, make one small correction. There's no such thing as a former or past Olympian. You're always an Olympian. So once an Olympian, always an Olympian,
like
and you just designate which Olympics you were at.
Exactly.
But it's a fraternity and sorority. It's a very elite fraternity. I don't know, about 12,000 total Olympians, in this country since the game started. So we all have been, we all know that we all went through a lot to get there. Exactly. And for those of us that got there more than once, it was a very special occasion.
Real quick before we let you go, because we're running out of time, just got to ask you, obviously, being that you did the 10,000 meters, is that your favorite event to watch?
No, I like all the track and field events. I wish I could have been a 100-meter dash guy, because it's over like that, or a miler. I want to say that there's one local connection here, and I'd like to get this up on the screen, but we have an association of Olympians here in St. Louis. It's called the Missouri-Illinois Olympians Organization. There is a website, And on our website, which is www.mo-illinois-il-olympians.org, there's links. And for those people in our audience, they can go to our website and they can go on links, and you can get to various Olympic news and stuff from our website right here. Plus, you can see what other area Olympians are here, and those of us that are available for talks or appearances or things, they can reach us through that website.
Excellent.
Cool. Great. Well, we want to thank you for coming on. Appreciate you taking out the time for joining us here on St. Louis Presents.
You're welcome. Thank you
All
for
right,
having
Craig
me.
Virgin, everybody. Stay with us. When we come back, we're going to be joined by author James Erwin to talk about his new book, Guerrillas and Civil War in Missouri.
Traditional light bulbs actually generate 9 times more heat than light. Let's switch to Energy Star light bulbs and stop burning through cash. Saving energy saves you money.
Packers, Vikings,
Red State, Blue State.
We come from different places.
Uptown.
But when we live united, we create real lasting change in the education, income, and health of our country. Real change won't happen without you. So give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Sign up at liveunited.org.
When tragedy struck Indonesia and Haiti, the world responded. The famine, war, and drought affecting the Horn of Africa right now is larger than both these crises combined, and the world should be paying attention. Text a donation of $10, but do more than donate. Forward the facts to everyone you know. Forward from our site, forward on Facebook, and forward on Twitter. We are the relief.
Experience St. Louis.
You promised me the world. Is this what you had in mind?
Every choice we make has a consequence. Help EarthShare and its members restore balance to the world. Visit earthshare.org and see what you can do. EarthShare, one environment, one simple way to care for it.
Welcome back to St. Louis Presents, and we are here with Jim Erwin, author of Guerrillas in Civil War, Missouri. Welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Now, I got to ask you, first of all, what prompted you to write the book about guerrillas in the Civil War?
Well, it goes back a long ways. When I was 8 years old, my grandparents bought a box of books to fill up their bookcase in their house, and in them was a book about the Civil War, specifically about the Battle of Shiloh, and it had all kinds of maps in it, and I was just fascinated with it, and have been ever since. I still have the book. It's about 100 years old. It's in pieces, but it's in a plastic bag. I still have it. And for the 150th anniversary of the Civil War coming up, my wife, who's also a published author, suggested that I ought to write a book about the Civil War, and this was the subject she suggested, and this is the one that the History Press decided they would like for me to write.
Now, I did go through the book, and there were some pretty nasty fighting here in Missouri in the Civil War.
Yes. Missouri actually had the third most battles of any of the states in the Civil War, over 1,100. And that was really just the ones they recorded between Union troops and Confederate forces. Most of those were between the Union troops and guerrillas. There were some battles, but most of them were between Union troops and guerrillas. The state was actually more violent than that because it didn't record attacks on civilians by guerrillas or attacks on towns, or for that matter, there were attacks by Union troops on civilians as well. Plus, The Civil War was sort of a middle period. Before the war, there was the border wars with Kansas, bleeding Kansas and all of that. It all started about the mid-1850s. And even after the war, some of the guerrillas carried on violence after the war. Frank and Jesse James, for example, became bank robbers later.
Oh my goodness. That's true. So what are who are some of the characters, and what are some of those battles that you can share with the audience?
Okay, well, the most famous guerrilla in Missouri was probably William Quantrill. He led the raid on Lawrence, Kansas, where over 150 men and boys were killed and destroyed the town. And he was considered probably the most notorious in Missouri. The second probably is the guy that's on the cover of my book, Bloody Bill Anderson. And he was involved in a massacre up in Centralia, Missouri, where he took about 23 Union soldiers off a train who were unarmed and shot them down. And then about another 150 soldiers came out after Anderson. He ambushed them and killed about 120 of those. So he was a very famous, notorious guerrilla during the war in Missouri as well. There's a third one I would like to mention because it's kind of an interesting guy. He's from Montgomery City. His name was Alvin Cobb. He had lost his hand in a hunting accident before the war, and he had a hook instead of a hand.
So kind of like Captain Hook.
Kind of like Captain Hook,
without
yes.
the ticking clock.
Yeah, right.
Oh my goodness. So it was really nasty fighting.
It was.
It was. And I'm just curious, were those numbers, you said not all of it was recorded. So, given that it was obviously the highest fatality war that we've ever had, obviously because it was Civil War, but the numbers aren't even accurate, is what you're telling us.
No, the numbers, there are many things from the Civil War that we have approximations of, and the casualties is one. Even today, I think they're still trying to adjust that, and scholars go back and forth about the exact numbers, but we know generally what it is. Yeah. And generally in Missouri, there were over 1,100 engagements between the two forces, but it probably was actually quite a bit more if you count the civilians in.
Now you get around to speak about the book and speak about this period, and you talk to groups of people, associations, such as?
I just finished talking at the Missouri History Museum. I did a couple presentations there. I've talked to civic groups, Rotary and some others, National Sojourners, which is a veterans group for Masonic veterans group, and I've also spoken at libraries who've been putting on presentations about the Civil War because of the 150th anniversary. Now,
and you said that there was an interesting occasion, I don't know if it happens often, but there was a woman who recognized her family.
Yeah. It seems to happen almost every time I go. Yes, at the Missouri History Museum, there's a woman who told me, said, well, my great-grandfather was killed by bushwhackers because he was mistaken for a Captain Grabenhorst who was in the Union Army. And I said, well, Captain Grabenhorst, I have letters from Captain Grabenhorst that he wrote to his family at that same time because he was actually on duty somewhere else in Missouri. That's why the bushwhackers didn't find him. And we both kind of sat there with our mouths open and it's like, oh my gosh, what a small world.
Yeah, exactly. Now, how can people get hold of the book?
Well, the book's in a number of the bookstores around the area. All of the bookstores in the St. Louis Independent Bookstore Alliance, Main Street Books in St. Charles, Left Bank Books, which is downtown and Central West End, Pudd'nhead Books in Webster Groves, Subterranean Books in the Loop.
Okay.
I think it's at the Missouri History Museum. Barnes & Noble has it. And it's also available online. There's actually electronic versions as well if that's what you prefer.
And then one last question. So how do they reach you if they want to have you come speak about this? Because, this is really interesting and relative to American history, especially in Missouri.
Probably the easiest way to get a hold of me is to call Main Street Books. My wife and I own that bookstore. And so call us in St. Charles at 636-949-0105. And somebody there either get a message to me or I'll be there myself. Excellent. And if you come by the store, I'll be happy to sign the book for you.
Excellent, so we can get a signed copy.
Oh, yes.
Yay! Well, Jim, thank you again. Thank you for writing the story, the untold story. And thanks for being here to share it with us today.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
We will be right back with more of St. Louis Presents. We're going to be checking on Heather Dawn in the kitchen.
times of peace and times of war, in times of joy and times of pain. We need them, they need us, and we need you. The USO, until everyone comes home.
There's a monster in the kitchen.
Keep innocent things from triggering an asthma attack. Learn how to stop their asthma attacks at noattacks.org.
Monsters can be anywhere.
When life's this hard, graduating can be even harder. But you can help Jose and the students in your community make it through by visiting boostup.org.
Experience St. Louis.
And welcome back to St. Louis Presents. We are back in the kitchen. This is one of my favorite parts of the show every week that we do because
Always.
we get to sample either food or drink. And this week we get to sample something from the Fountain on Locust. Heather Dawn Mitchell is joining us, the bartender over there. Heather, thanks for joining us.
Yes, yes.
Tell us about the little concoction you have made for us today.
This is a complex concoction. We have well over 20 ice cream martinis, and each one is its own like distinctive character. It gets its own garnish on the glass, it gets its own garnish on top. Everyone is very different, and a different combination of alcohols. And so here I have the Orange Dream Martini, which
Orange
is
Dream
very
Martini.
reminiscent of the Dreamsicle, and it's very nostalgic for
Ooh,
me.
You like orange?
Yes, I like orange and
All
I
right.
like dreams.
Okay,
I
so-
dream all the time.
So here we have a beautiful blend of our deluxe vanilla ice cream, orange sherbet, vanilla vodka, and triple sec. And so we start with the ice creams with 2 generous scoops of ice cream. And we have a very reputable
Do you guys make your own
source.
ice cream over there?
We have a very reputable source for our ice cream we go through a dairy in Wisconsin. And
That's
it
right.
is
I remember
very,
that.
very fine
No
ice cream.
preservatives.
No, none of that. And Joy is highly against high fructose corn syrup, so none of that either.
Yes.
So we'll just go ahead and dump this in a glass.
Ooh, look how
Very smooth,
That's all you.
very creamy.
beautiful it looks.
That's all you.
Okay, and then this one is actually going to get some whipped cream.
Oh, that's all
And
April
April
now.
has
That is
expressed,
all
she has
April now.
expressed her love for the whipped
She
cream.
has expressed her love
We
for-
also
I'm
home
going
make
out
this
for the
ourselves.
Chambord. That's my favorite.
Okay.
Chambord.
So generally, after I add this whipped cream,
See, she's got a fancy way.
Look at
that.
So the trick is putting a little spoon in your glass. So, you can,
it just kind of supports it right beneath the whipped cream there.
so all
And-
you little bartenders at home, now you know the little trick. Just grab a little
Exactly.
spoon.
Exactly.
And then boom. I'm going to use that. I'm going to use it when I get home.
And we have to
Impress the
use
ladies?
Hey,
we have to use
that's
our,
what I try to do
our
whenever I can do it.
imaginations a little bit here because I became a little ill-prepared. But usually I would be garnishing this with a candied orange peel.
A candied orange peel.
Okay.
My garnish is
All
missing in
right.
action, so that would generally
I'm
be
sure
what's
Rob
going
will
on.
still
Now, is
love
this
it.
like the signature drink over there, Fountain on Locust?
Well, I guess it just depends on your preference because we have ones that are more decadent, like chocolate. We have a grand chocolate martini, which is real nice. I'm going to be making a love potion for you next.
Is it
which
Love Potion number 9?
It is love potion number 9.
Is that the one with Chambord?
Yes, this has the
that's the one I
Chambord
want.
and the Frangelica, which is a hazelnut liqueur, and then it's sprinkled with some chocolate curls.
Do you guys come up with these names yourselves, or are these the
I
generic
think
name for
it's
all drinks?
I think it's a collaboration because some of them are quite creative. So.
Which one is your specialty?
Personally, I really like making the caramel apple.
Ooh,
It
that sounds good.
smells divine. It is amazing. I use a vanilla ice cream, or deluxe vanilla, and then I put a little pump of caramel in there, and then I add some apple liqueur. We have quite a variety of all these flavored liqueurs. We had quite a fruity variety, I'd say. And so I used the apple, and then I used the frangelica for that one, and then the glass is actually garnished in caramel and a little apple slice on the side. And that's my favorite. I just love the whole procedure of
Now,
that one.
what do you think people who come to Fountain on Locust, what do they come for the most? Is it just regular shakes, or are they coming for the drinks?
A lot of
the little kick that comes with the,
a lot
with
of
the
people
shake.
are coming for the ice cream martinis. Yes, it's like, you know, dessert and alcohol infused together. It's a genius idea, really.
I think, I mean, I don't know why Einstein didn't come up with it. You know
And
what I'm
it
saying?
saves time also. You're like, I'd like a cocktail, but I'd also like some dessert. Bam.
Now, is there a secret? Because for people who want to maybe try making them at home, like Rob, is there a secret besides having this fantastic, fabulous industrial blender? Is there some other secret we should know?
Not necessarily. I mean, a nice, like I said, a good ice cream. You got to have good quality ingredients, unless you're like some sort of alchemist and you can turn poor quality things into high quality things. But so you got to have some good ice cream as your base, and then if you got the right variety of booze, then you can probably even be creative, or you can just come get a first-hand experience for the people that know what they're doing.
Speaking of getting it firsthand, tell folks, just in case they don't know where your restaurant is located, your shop is located. Tell us where we can find it.
We are in Midtown, and that is on Locust, and then you can find us on the web at fountainonlocust.com.
Okay, and the address is 3037 Locust Avenue. And again, if you want to go to the website, you go to www.fountainonlocust.com. Great.
It's a very jovial atmosphere. I mean, there's beautiful decor on the walls. That's a little example of the kind of things that you'll see
It's
hand painted on the walls. So.
Yeah.
Everything
Yeah.
hand painted. So can I sample that a little bit?
Absolutely.
It just looks so good. Just to keep it here. I mean, this is a work of art. And I know there's art on the walls, but there's also art in the glass. Would you like to try this, April?
I think also being a bartender, you have to have
there's
a
a
bit
little
of
bit
artistic.
there's a little bit in here if you want to try
I
some.
want your whipped cream.
Oh,
skill as
look at
well.
you.
See, look at that. See, I'm just going to try it. You get the rest.
Well, if I get the rest, this is gonna be a whole different show if I drink the rest of this right
yummy.
now. So.
That is really good.
it might be for the better, but I'm going to go ahead and try it.
Let's get your opinion.
There is a more respectable hour to enjoy ice cream martinis. We have a happy hour from
This
4
is
to
very
7,
good.
so.
This is very good. So later in the show, you're going to make that love potion for us.
Absolutely.
So we can't wait to try that. Looking forward to it. All
And
right,
hopefully there'll be time to squeeze in a grass hopper.
Okay, we
as
have
well.
to. We got to take another break here on St. Louis Presents. When we return, we're going to be joined by Keith Turner from Torn Group Technologies. So stay with us.
So I asked my uncle, what's a special interest? He says they run Washington. He said they're groups of special interest in getting bills through Congress or the State House. So I said, I'm a Boy Scout, and our supporters help make a difference by educating elected officials on issues. Does that make me a special interest too? I guess my uncle thinks the Boy Scouts are helping to run Washington. Am I missing something?
Learn more about American democracy by logging on to representativedemocracy.org.
Packers. Viking. Packers. Viking. Viking.
Red state, blue state, vegan.
Carnivore.
We come from different places.
Uptown.
Downtown.
Optimist.
We come to different conclusions.
Half empty.
Half full.
But when we live united, we create real, lasting change in the building blocks of life. The education, income, and health of our communities,
Live.
our families,
United.
even the person next to us.
Live united.
Real change won't happen without you. So give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Sign up at liveunited.org.
Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
This financial advisor is being accused of committing one of the largest investment frauds in the history of the United States.
I guess we're not going to Aspen. That's fine.
You see, I like tennis balls. He likes insider trading. So he's going to jail and I'm going to a shelter. And no, they're not the same thing. Shelters are for good pets that want to be adopted. Jails are for criminals. I done nothing. Uh-oh. Ooh, okay, I stole a cheeseburger once. I'm my dog.
Dream martini that I had was so good that I messed up our next guest's actual title. We're joined by Keith Turner of Turn Group Technology, not torn. I was torn over that drink, just how good it was. That's what happened. I was just torn over it. It was just
You were
that
torn
good.
over whether or not to eat up that
I was
whipped cream.
torn on whether or not should I drink the whole thing between the break, but I didn't actually do that. I kept my composure. Keith Turner from Turn Group Technologies.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on. Appreciate it. So we want to talk, obviously, about what's going on in the world of, computers and whatnot. And
Technology.
obviously, it's a world that keeps everybody busy, man. I mean, we almost don't talk to people, interact with people anymore because of this.
That's right.
Tell us, what do you guys do over there at your company?
We primarily provide two services. One, we provide networking services. The other side is programming. So under programming, you have website development, application development. And so our new area that we're delving in is phone app development. So I think we'll be talking about that as well.
Oh, that's trouble. That's trouble.
And we're in Midtown. We're right up the street from the fountain.
Right. So I mean, when you talk about apps, man, that's just another reason to get people not to talk to somebody on the phone.
You're right. You're right. But I mean, what can we do? Technology is there. We have to find ways to use it and benefit from it. So it should make life easier and not harder.
Exactly.
It does make life easier. But I mean, I guess, do you find yourself in your industry, it's a way of making sure people stay as up to date as possible, which yes, that's what we're always looking for, but also it's almost like a double-edged sword. We're less sociable.
You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. Because there's so many applications that take the place of people that you really start to look at these applications and say, wow, well, what can I do? And before you know it, something I would have asked you or I would have asked you, I just look at my phone app or I download an app or I go online, I Google it. So you're right. It does. It makes the world a little bit less personal, but you know what? Hopefully it makes it a bit more efficient and, a bit more effective. So.
Kind of like the Jetsons.
Yeah, kind of like the Jetsons.
For those of you who don't know who the Jetsons are, look it up, Google it.
them. Right. What are the Jetsons? What are they doing?
But, so what are some of the hottest phone apps that you're seeing?
Well, some of the hottest phone apps I can't speak of, but I can tell you some of the ones I personally like. There's one, and I hate to blast it out because I don't know who created it, I don't know where it came from, but it's called MyFitnessPal. And since I'm a runner and I try to stay fit and I try to lift, this FitnessPal counts your calories. And so you plug in the foods that you've eaten for that day, and it kind of calculates your calories, and then you tell it how much cardio you did that day, if you ran 2 miles, and then it calculates your calories. And I just use it to kind of monitor what I'm doing day to day with calories. And I've never been a calorie counter, but now I find myself counting calories. If I'm working out, it's like, oh, I can't eat this. So I don't know if it's a man law violation, but I know I'm using this app like crazy. So I mean, there are tons of apps. We're actually developing an app right now that will lead people to do better assessments of their symptoms. So if you have a headache, it'll tell you exactly what may cause a headache. If you're deficient in magnesium or chromium, or if you need more vitamin D, then it'll tell you what levels are toxic, and it'll tell you where you can originate it from, if you need to get it from bananas, potassium, or if you need to get it from apples. So there are tons of apps that can help you, and again, they should improve your life, make it more effective, more efficient, and not hurt your life. But yeah, again, we got this issue with personal interaction with people. So we just have to find a way to work with it.
Now there are actually a lot of ways that as a company you can integrate phone apps to drive more business to your company.
There are a lot of restaurants that use is it OpenTable, and they incorporate OpenTable, and so you can make reservations. So the phone app essentially, you have mobile applications, you have your website, but essentially your phone app is created so you can use this more efficiently on your phone versus going to the website and trying to look through the site on your phone. So there are tons of applications out there. A lot of them are free. And that's the great part about it. A lot of them are free. You can download them, try them out. If you don't like them, you can delete them. So it's technology is something else. You have Android platforms, you have Apple platform, BlackBerry has been very successful, but they're having some problems. So these two platforms are fighting each other, and there are tons of apps out there. So life is good for the app developer.
Do you think it's a question of just personal preference of what people, there's some people who are so dedicated to their iPhones, they don't live without it. And there's some people who just love the Blackberries, and then there's people who love the Androids. Is one necessarily better than the other?
Well, I could say one is better than the other, but clearly there are people who have fallen in love with Apple products. They fall in love with Steve Jobs, they fall in love with the Macs, and my thing is they're more expensive. There's some pluses, some minuses. A lot of graphic designers, a lot of programmers use Macs, but the reality of it is for the day-to-day user, the common user, my thing is pay for what you get. Meaning that, if you don't need a specific service and you can get it for cheaper, use it. So plenty of the PCs that are out here are great. Toshiba makes a good PC, Acer makes good PCs. Just use them. Windows products are good, Mac products are good. Just find what best fits you for your budget. I'm not a proponent of people going out and saying, oh, this is the latest thing, let's go grab it. I mean, the iPad is great, but tablets have been out for years. It's just another way that they're utilizing applications. So yeah, people call and say, oh, it's very, very different. But the reality of it is if you're doing a Word document, then you're doing a Word document, and you don't need the latest and the greatest to get that done. So kind of look at your situation, evaluate it, determine what your actual needs are, and base it on that. There might be some applications that work better on different platforms, but the reality of it is you have to assess that for yourself.
And is that something that your company helps businesses do?
Absolutely.
Is to assess what best fits the business?
A large part of our business is IT business related consulting. So we'll sit down with the company and they can tell us what they're trying to do, and we'll kind of create a path or a comprehensive plan on how they get from point A to point B. So,
well, Keith, we want to thank you for coming on.
I appreciate you all having me.
How do people reach you if they want to get you to come out and take a look at what's going on, or develop a phone app or whatever they need?
Well, turngroup.com, TURNGROUP.com, and then our number is 314-289-8734. So, yeah.
Cool. Well, appreciate it. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right.
Thanks.
More of St. Louis Presents after the break. We're going to be joined by Brooke Shaney of Mr. Sparky to keep you safe throughout the summer and the heat.
Love your show. I think it's a lot of fun. I love the show. I watch the show every night. You have great guests on there. I enjoy watching the best of the STL.
I love the show, and I love to watch it all the time. Thank you very much.
I just recently started watching the program, and so far I have really enjoyed it. It's wonderful what you do with the kids or anything, and putting St. Louis on the map.
Hi, I really like your show.
Hi, I love your show. I watch it every day, every time you come on. I love your show.
We may get to enjoy retirement, but our old cell phones shouldn't. Recycle them. It's easy, it's free, and it's good for the environment. Hi, this is Richard Garn. Please answer the call to recycle.
There's a monster in my bed.
Even innocent things can trigger an asthma attack. Learn more at noattacks.org.
Please make the monsters go away.
Yo, what up? It's your man Nelly, and you watch your STL TV. Experience the Lou all day.
Separate raw meats from other foods by using different cutting boards. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Welcome back to St. Louis Presents, and we have Brooke Shaney here Actually from Mr. Sparky, but this is Mrs. Sparky.
This is Mrs. Sparky.
Yeah, you know, we're still in the final month of the summer left, but you know, people don't realize, you know, may or may not realize how electricity still has to be a concern, especially during this heat wave that we are having here.
Yes.
So we wanted to bring you on and let folks know, to explain really why should we really pay close attention to our electricity around this extreme heat that we've been experiencing here in St. Louis.
Absolutely. And my number one safety tip is don't drink dreamsicle martinis around electricity.
Don't drink dreamsicle martinis around electricity.
Exactly.
Duly noted. Duly noted. I will always remember that.
Exactly. And now that kids are out of school and the swimming pools and the docks and the boats and all of that is going on, there are a lot of things that parents don't really realize that children can get into during the summer that are huge safety hazards. So, you know, I just wanted to come on here and I wanted to let everybody know that there are definitely some safety things that we can take part in as we progress through the summer. And a lot of children are outside playing with their little video games near the pool. You know, make sure that those are away from the pool. As small as they are, they can still be a huge danger to whoever is in the pool, whoever is operating the video game machine, any of that stuff. So always make sure that that is away from the pool. And then always keep those electric toys and appliances away from the pool, away from a hot tub, away from anything in the home that is around water. And one thing that I brought that everybody needs to make sure that they do have in their home, again, we are talking about electrical safety, is a GFCI outlet.
Yes.
And you probably see these in your house, but without being too technical, I like to kind of compare this as, you know, these airbag for your home. Just as if you are in a collision in a car, the airbag comes off and it saves your life.
Up to that camera right there.
Same thing happens here. If you come in contact with water near this outlet, it completely shuts off the outlet and it does save your life.
Yeah, I think a lot of people see them, but don't really know what they are or how you use them.
Exactly.
And you know, when you have to hit that top
The reset button?
button, that's because that it's gone off as a safety
It's gone
feature.
off. Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, I love these things. I think they're great.
And you see, you have a little plastic. Is that for the outdoors?
The bubble.
This is for the outdoors. If you have outlets on the outside of your house, you should always have these bubble covers, and you can see that they're called bubble covers because they do look like a bubble.
It's not a face mask.
It is not a face mask at all, and you don't drink out of it at all.
She got jokes, okay.
But these do need to go on all outside outlets. You know, anytime you have them outside your house. And what it does is when it rains or you have a storm, these do protect the outlet on the outside. And again, it's another safety feature. Another safety feature we have on here is something new to code, electrical code, again, not getting too technical, but our tamper-resistant safety outlets. And this means that a child cannot come in here with a safety pin or anything like that, and you can't, and I brought an example of here, but both of these have to be kind of punctured at the same time. Right. So you can see an outlet cover goes in there just fine because they're both working at the same time. But if a small child, like in a daycare, or if you have small children at home, if they were to stick a paper clip or anything in there, it wouldn't open up. So
Oh, my
again,
goodness.
tamper-resistant
Don't
outlet.
test it at home.
Is that the number one concern, pretty much, that, you know, people with small children should look out for, to have that wide necessary?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
number one concern.
Yes.
Yeah, I was excited about that because, you know, I have a lot of small children in my family, and you know, this is really something that we're always worried about, is them sticking something in
Another
there.
quick question. Amidst the heat, we were talking about how some people have, you know, something plugged into the outlet, and whatever they're using isn't on. Is that a good, you know, and I hear that actually runs electricity, and it's not really good for you.
It does, especially in the heat. What we need to do is, when you're not using any of your small appliances, and we're not talking about your refrigerator or anything like
a little
that,
toaster or something?
Exactly, make sure it's unplugged, because it is still using electricity. And right now what we're seeing a lot is, unfortunately, melted electrical components, because it is so hot, and you got to think the electrical panel in your home is, unfortunately, it's all made of pretty much plastic, so it does melt, and we do have calls like that.
Oh wow!
Those are some really great tips. Now, you guys can come into somebody's home and make all these changes, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
We specialize in just residential service.
Okay.
We are specialized in just the home.
So how do they get a hold of you to come put on the bubble and get? I'm serious because anyone with small children needs these tamper resistant.
How much do they go for, by the way?
It just depends.
Varies
it's gonna vary for every household.
On an average, what can people expect to spend on something like that?
About have it completely installed, about $100.
Oh,
okay.
So worth it.
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
really worth saving my
Definitely
child's
worth it.
life.
Yes.
Yeah.
And does that help as far as home insurance is concerned or anything like that? Or just more of just for personal?
That I'm not sure of, but I mean, it is personal safety.
Mhm.
You know, $100 versus unfortunately having something bad happen to your child or your small animal. You know, it's worth it. It's definitely worth it.
Absolutely. So tell folks if they want to get in touch with you at Mr. Sparky, how can they do that?
They can call us at 314-781-9998, or they can visit us online at mrsparkystlouis.com.
Excellent.
Cool. All right. Well, we want you to stay right here because we want to bring in Heather from the Fountain on the Locust, who's going to give us a little treat before we go. So Heather, why don't you pour your little drink out and make something for us? Because I know Brooke has had jokes about me dreaming about your orange dreamsicle drink, and now you've got the Love Potion number 9.
I've scooped 2 scoops of our deluxe vanilla, which it's not a usual, task of a bartender. It doesn't fit the description. You usually just, mix and shake and serve. But at the Fountain, you mix and shake and scoop and serve. So the Love Potion is poured, and then we give it a little garnish. I'm just going to sprinkle it with some chocolate curls.
Uh-oh, chocolate curls. This is all for April, by the way.
And that is complete. That is ruined and ready to go.
All right, so bring it on over here so April can sample it.
Gladly, with gusto.
Let's move her glasses.
Thanks. I get the honors?
She gets the honors. Because you said you loved what was it?
I
the
do,
dram?
the Chambord.
We fill
Thank
these
you.
to the brim.
It is filled to the brim. All right.
To the brim.
I'm going to give this a try. I'm willing to share, but.
No, she's not.
Oh my. That is so dreamy. See, this could be a dream concoction. I don't know if it's a
Love
dream
Potion
sickle, but
number 9.
that is definitely, I'm in love with Love Potion number 9.
What did you say was in it again?
There's the Chambord and the Frangelica, which is a hazelnut, and then the Chambord is actually a black raspberry liqueur. So the two of them, it's a really nice marriage, I would say, with the deluxe vanilla.
Very nice. Ooh, that's yummy. That is really good.
So
now all it needs is a big fat scoop of whipped cream.
Oh, she needs some whipped cream. So come on over here and put some whipped cream on it for her because
But we will make an exception.
she can't end. She can't. She has to
certainly
have some whipped cream.
Expressed her
All right,
interest in
yes,
whipped
thank
cream
you. And
today.
I will share.
Cool. She has to have the whipped cream.
Yay.
Well,
All right.
Heather, thank you for coming on the show.
Yes.
Brooke, thank you for coming on the show. We
Thank
want to
you.
thank all our guests
Yes.
for coming on the show here on St. Louis Presents. We had fun. April's going to drink her drink. I might get back to the Orange Dream, and Brooke's going to make fun of me while I go back to the show. But we will be back next week with more St. Louis Presents.
Yes.
Have a great week, everybody. Thanks for watching. We got to go. Bye.